What if the dad who refused to show up at your wedding suddenly texts you the day your company explodes in the news? Not, "I'm sorry I missed the biggest day of your life." Not, "I love you." Just, "Hey kid, saw that $580 million hotel chain story. We should catch up." My heart actually stopped for a second. After years of silence, one big number brought him running back. If you've ever felt rejected by your own blood, stick with me. This is going to hit you right in the chest. Hey friend, it's just me here. No fancy lights, no corporate script, just real talk from someone who's lived it. Today I'm pulling back the curtain on a story most families bury deep. How I built a major hotel brand from nothing while my own father acted like I didn't exist, until the money got too loud to ignore. This isn't about revenge. It's about truth, pain, growth, and what really matters. By the end of this, you might see your own family situation in a whole new light. We're going deep today, so grab a coffee or whatever you're drinking, settle in, and let's get real for the next half hour. Family approval is a trap, and I wasted way too many years stuck in it. Let me take you back. I'm from a small town in Ohio. Dad worked the same factory line for 38 years. Clock in, clock out, collect the pension, complain about the Browns on Sundays. That was success to him. Stability. Predictability. No risks, no big dreams, just showing up and getting by. He grew up in the Depression-era mindset where you never rock the boat. You take what's safe. You don't chase crazy ideas like starting a business. When I was 24, I told him I was quitting my safe office job to buy a rundown 12-room motel in Central Florida with every single dollar I had saved, plus a small loan that kept me up at night. His response? He laughed in my face and said, "You're gonna lose everything and come crawling back. That's not how real life works, kid. Get a real job like your brother." My brother, by the way, stayed in the factory, complains every holiday, but gets the big family approval nod. Fast forward 2 years. I met Mike. He saw the same fire in me that Dad tried to put out. We got engaged. I was over the moon. When I called Dad to tell him the wedding date, he got quiet on the phone, then said, "I'm not coming if you're throwing your life away on some fantasy, and that guy who doesn't even have a steady paycheck." On the wedding day, that front row seat stayed empty. No call. No card. Just this heavy silence that made me feel like an orphan at my own wedding. I cried in the bathroom between photos while everyone pretended not to notice. The photographer kept saying, "Smile bigger." But inside I was shattered. That pain. It didn't break me. It forged me into someone tougher, someone who decided she wouldn't wait around anymore. I didn't build the business to shove it in his face. I built it because I finally realized I'd been waiting my whole life for permission that was never coming. I spent nights replaying his words, wondering why my own dad couldn't see the vision. But every doubt he planted became motivation. Look, I know I'm not alone here. I talk to regular Americans every week who are stuck in the same trap. There's Sarah from Michigan, great accountant, miserable because her dad thinks real jobs don't include starting an online bakery. She's 34 and still asking for his approval before every big move, even though she's making more than him now. She told me she delays launches because Dad might think it's silly. Or Tyrone in Atlanta wanted to leave the family construction business and start a pressure washing company with eco-friendly methods. His dad guilt-tripped him for 2 years straight, saying, "You're abandoning the family legacy." Tyrone lost sleep, gained weight from stress, until he finally broke free. Then there's Emily in rural Pennsylvania, a teacher who wanted to start a summer tutoring side hustle for kids in her town. Her mom shut it down hard. "Stick to your salary and pension like we did." Emily waited 5 years, lost momentum, and now regrets it every time she sees young entrepreneurs online. Here's the bold truth most people never say out loud: your parents' approval is a bonus, not a requirement for your life. The moment I stopped waiting for Dad's pat on the back, I started making decisions that actually moved my life forward. I stopped playing small. I stopped apologizing for wanting more than a factory life or a cubicle. I took the leap on that first motel even when the bank loan officer raised an eyebrow. That shift is everything. Because when you chase their approval, you're building their dream of your life, not yours. And let me tell you, that road is exhausting and lonely. It drains your energy. You second-guess every idea. You hold back on risks that could pay off big. I see it in so many average folks. The mechanic in Texas who dreams of opening his own shop but dad says, "Stay at the dealership." The nurse in Florida who wants to launch a health coaching program but mom worries it's too unstable. Ask yourself right now, how many decisions have you delayed because you're waiting for a parent, sibling, or family member to say, "Good job"? How many dreams have you shrunk to fit their expectations? I did that for years, and it cost me time, confidence, and opportunities. Once I broke free, the ideas flowed. The courage came. And the first motel, as terrible as it was, leaking roofs, outdated furniture, noisy guests, became the foundation. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine waking up every day knowing you're living someone else's script. That was me. Dad's voice in my head during every tough negotiation with suppliers. His skepticism when I pitched my vision to early investors. But the day I signed the papers for that motel, something clicked. I wasn't doing it for him anymore. I was doing it for the version of me who deserved to try. And that, my friend, is liberating. It's the kind of freedom that lets you sleep better at night even when the business is shaky. We'll come back to more examples throughout this video because this trap is so common in American families. Blue-collar roots, immigrant stories, small-town values, they all can create this invisible cage if you're not careful. But you can break out. I did. And so can you. Success doesn't heal broken relationships, it just shines a bright light on how broken they really are. 8 hard years later, everything changed. We grew from that one beat-up motel to a chain of 47 boutique hotels across the Southeast. Clean, stylish, affordable luxury for regular families, not just rich people. Think comfortable beds, free coffee in the lobby, family suites that don't cost a fortune. We focused on what average Americans want: value, comfort, and a place that feels like home after a long road trip. The private equity deal came after consistent growth through good service and smart marketing. The valuation: $580 million. CNN, Forbes, local news in multiple states, everyone was talking about it. Stories ran with headlines like, "From one motel to hotel empire, American dream alive." My phone started blowing up that same afternoon. Old high school friends I hadn't spoken to since graduation. Distant cousins I hadn't heard from in decades sending, "Congrats," with heart emojis. Even some former coworkers who once doubted me. And then, the text from Dad. "Saw the article about your hotels. $580 million. That's impressive. Let's grab coffee sometime." No mention of the wedding. No. "I'm sorry I disappeared during your hardest years." No acknowledgement of all the nights I called him crying because suppliers ghosted me, or a hurricane damaged 3 properties at once, or when interest rates spiked and nearly sank us. Just coffee. Like we were casual buddies catching up on the Steelers game. I sat in my car in the parking lot of one of my flagship hotels, the one with the big pool and playground for kids, and just stared at that message for a long time. Tears came. Part of me wanted to throw the phone across the lot. Another part felt this deep, heavy sadness mixed with anger. Because success doesn't magically turn selfish people into caring ones. It just gives them a better excuse to reappear and act like nothing happened. I've seen this story play out with normal people across America, not just big business owners. Take my friend Lisa in Texas. She built a house cleaning franchise from her garage after a tough divorce. For years her sister mocked her. Little side hustle with mops and buckets. Lisa worked 70-hour weeks, trained employees, built systems. When she hit 7 figures, bought her first investment property, and the local paper did a feature that same sister showed up needing just a little help with rent and a family loan for her own bills. Suddenly family dinners were back on the calendar. Or Carlos in California, worked his way up from warehouse worker to regional manager at a logistics company through night classes and pure grit. Big promotion, big bonus, company car. Suddenly his dad, who was mostly absent during his childhood, missed games, birthdays, everything, wants season tickets to the Lakers and quality father-son time. Every weekend. Carlos told me it felt gross, like being used. Then there's Rachel, a single mom in Ohio who started a small catering business for local events. She struggled for years with equipment breakdowns and unreliable help. When her business got featured on a regional TV segment and revenue tripled, her estranged brother reconnected, hinting at helping with his kids' college funds. No support during the lean years, but plenty of interest when the money showed. Success becomes the ultimate mirror. It reveals who loved you for you versus who loved what you could eventually do for them. It highlights the cracks in relationships that were always there but easy to ignore when everyone was scraping by. And here's a surprising fact. Research on family dynamics shows that sudden wealth or public success actually increases conflict in already strained relationships by over 60%. The money doesn't fix the crack, it just makes it impossible to ignore anymore. People come out of the woodwork. Requests for loans, favors, introductions. It tests your boundaries like nothing else. In my case, that text forced me to confront years of built-up resentment. I replayed the wedding day in my mind, the empty chair, the sympathetic looks from guests, Mike holding my hand tighter. I remembered the early motel days, fixing toilets at 2 a.m., negotiating with vendors while eating peanut butter sandwiches, doubting if I'd make payroll. Dad was silent through all of it. No. How can I help? No encouragement. Just absence. And now a text because of a news headline. This pattern is everywhere in average American life. The factory worker who gets a big inheritance and suddenly has friends from high school. The teacher who writes a best-selling book and family wants VIP access to events. The truck driver who starts a successful delivery side gig and relatives ask for free shipping. Success exposes motives. It forces clarity. And clarity, while painful, is a gift if you use it right. I spent hours processing that text. Journaling. Walking around the hotel property talking to staff who had been with me since day one. Their loyalty reminded me what real relationships look like. Not transactional. Not headline-driven. Genuine. We'll dive deeper into handling these moments later, but for now, understand this: your big break won't rewrite history. It will illuminate it. Prepare for that. Decide now how you'll respond when the texts come. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable asset, because trust me, it is. After Dad's text, I didn't reply for 3 full days. I needed clarity, not a knee-jerk reaction. I drove out to the very first motel I ever bought, the one that was full of mold, broken AC units, and questionable stains when I got it for a steal at auction. Now it's beautiful, fully booked most weekends, with happy families staying there, kids playing in the updated courtyard, parents relaxing with coffee. I sat in the renovated lobby, smelling fresh paint and hearing laughter from guests, and remembered how broke and alone I felt back then. The late nights crying on the phone to Mike. The fear of foreclosure. The isolation. I called Mike, who's been my rock. I talked to my therapist about patterns of abandonment and forgiveness. I prayed for wisdom. And then I made a calm, firm decision. I agreed to meet him at a small, no-frills diner near his house, neutral ground, nothing fancy. He showed up smiling like the last 10 years never happened. Started talking about the hotels, the money, how he always knew I had it in me deep down. Bragged to the waitress about his successful daughter. Never once brought up the empty chair at my wedding. Never acknowledged the birthdays he ignored, the holidays with no call, or the times I needed advice and got criticism instead. Halfway through the coffee, as he reached for the check like he was doing me a favor, I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Dad, I'm glad you're doing okay health-wise and staying active. But I'm not doing the fake happy family reunion thing anymore. You disappeared when I needed you most, during the wedding, during the business struggles, during my lowest points. I've forgiven you, for my own peace of mind and to release the bitterness, not for you. We can have a polite, surface-level relationship if you want. Occasional check-ins. But that seat you left empty at my wedding. That cost you something money can't fix or buy back. I'm protecting my heart and my energy now. I hope you understand. He got real quiet. Fork down. Eyes on his plate. For the first time ever, I saw my big, tough factory worker dad look small and uncomfortable, shifting in his seat. No comeback. No defense. Just silence. This is the part most people get wrong in family dynamics. You can forgive someone completely, truly let go of the hate, and still choose not to give them full access to your life, your successes, or your inner circle. Love and access are not the same thing. Protecting your peace isn't being bitter or cold, it's basic self-respect. It's guarding the energy you need to keep building, to be there for your own kids, to stay focused. I've had so many conversations with viewers just like you, nurses in Ohio working double shifts, truck drivers in Texas on long hauls, teachers in Florida grading papers after hours, who feel guilty for setting boundaries with toxic or unsupportive family. They say things like, "But it's blood," or, "Mom will be disappointed." Let me free you right now. Guilt is the tax toxic people try to make you pay for choosing yourself. You don't owe unlimited access because of DNA. Think about it in everyday terms. You wouldn't let a coworker who badmouths you have full access to your projects. You wouldn't give your car keys to someone with a history of wrecking vehicles. Why give emotional access to people who have shown they don't value you? In my life, that diner conversation brought closure. I walked out feeling lighter. Not happy, but free. I still care if he's healthy, but I don't tie my worth or joy to his approval. That's power. That's growth. And it lets me show up better for the people who do choose me daily. More on this, I've heard from dozens of average Americans. One guy, a mechanic named Joe in Indiana, set boundaries with his critical father after starting a mobile repair service. Father only called when he needed free fixes. Joe said, "No more," and focused on his wife and kids. Business grew, marriage strengthened. Another woman, a baker in Wisconsin, limited contact with siblings who only reached out for free cakes after her shop went viral. She protected her peace and hired help instead. These small acts add up to big freedom. Protecting peace means saying no to drama, no to guilt trips, no to one-sided relationships. It means curating your inner circle with people who add value, not drain it. In America, where family expectations run deep, holidays, traditions, obligations, this can feel rebellious. But it's necessary for mental health and success. I journaled after that meeting. Peace is the new wealth. And it's true. No amount of hotel valuations replaces a calm mind and strong boundaries. Real wealth isn't the $580 million. It's having people who chose you when you had nothing. Don't get me wrong, the money is nice. It means my kids will never know the fear of watching your bank account go negative before payday. It means I can help my team with bonuses, better healthcare, and profit sharing. It means freedom to travel, to give back to causes like local shelters, to invest in more properties. The lifestyle upgrades, reliable cars, a home without leaks, college funds, they matter. But the real treasure. The relationships that stood the test of $0 and zero fame. Mike, who believed in me when we ate ramen for dinner and had $47 in our checking account. He sold his truck to help fund the second motel renovation. Slept on the floor during early openings. Cheered me on through every failure. That kind of partnership is priceless. The small original team who stayed through the tough years. Maria, my first manager, who worked double shifts for 6 months straight without complaining when we had staffing shortages. She believed when guests were few. Tom, the handyman, who fixed things on credit because he saw the vision. Their loyalty when I couldn't pay much is what built the foundation. Friends who sent $200 or $500 when I was drowning in bills and said, "Pay it back whenever, we believe in you." No strings. No expectations. Just support. One buddy drove 6 hours to help paint rooms during a tight deadline. Those relationships are my true net worth. They remind me where I came from and keep me grounded. Dad's text taught me something I now tell people all the time: never confuse attention with love. Never confuse money with respect. Never mistake a sudden text or congratulatory call for genuine care. Headlines bring opportunists. Real love shows up in the trenches. I still send him a Christmas card every year. I check on his health when I hear updates. But I no longer carry the little girl fantasy that one day he'll magically become the dad I needed, the one who shows up, encourages, supports. That chapter is closed. And closing it brought me more peace than any business deal ever could. It allowed me to pour energy into my marriage, my kids, my team, and my vision. Real wealth looks like Sunday dinners with chosen family. It looks like late-night talks with your spouse about dreams. It looks like employees who stay because they feel valued. In a country where so many chase dollars, remember this: the $580 million is a tool. The people who choose you broke are the treasure. Use the pain as fuel, but don't let it become your identity. A lot of you watching are in the middle of your own grind right now. Maybe your parents don't believe in you. Maybe your siblings laugh at your dreams. Maybe you feel completely alone in this journey, scrolling success stories while your family doubts. I want you to hear this loud and clear: that pain is real. Feel it. Cry about it if you need to in your car after a long day. Sit with it. Process the hurt from the empty seats, the silent treatments, the dismissive comments. Then use it. Let it push you harder when you want to quit. Let it make you more determined to prove your own vision right. But don't let it define who you become. Don't become bitter or vengeful. Don't make every decision about showing them. Some of the most successful people I know came from the most unsupportive homes. They didn't succeed because their family believed in them. They succeeded because they refused to let their family's doubt stop them. They channeled the anger into late nights building, learning skills, networking. You have one life. One shot at building something meaningful, whether it's a business like mine, a stable home, a career you love, or raising great kids. Don't waste it waiting for people who should have shown up to finally come around. Don't put your dreams on hold for their validation. Practical ways to use the pain: journal the rejections and turn them into affirmations. Dad said I'd fail, but I'm still here. Exercise it out, run, lift, walk it off. Talk to a therapist or trusted friend. Read stories of others who overcame family doubt. Build a support network outside blood ties, masterminds, online communities, local entrepreneur groups. For average Americans, this means the welder in Michigan using family criticism to fuel his welding business startup. The mom in Nevada starting an Etsy shop despite relatives saying, "Crafts don't pay bills." The veteran in Colorado launching a consulting firm after unsupportive parents. Pain becomes rocket fuel when redirected. Keep going. Your story isn't over. The doubt from family can be the very thing that makes your success sweeter because you earned it independently. So here's the real talk takeaway for you today: if your family only shows up when your life looks good on paper, stop waiting for them to magically change. Build a life so full of real love, purpose, chosen family, and meaningful work that their absence eventually stops hurting so much. Use the rejection as rocket fuel. Protect your peace like it's your biggest investment, guard it fiercely. And when your own $580 million moment comes, and it will if you keep showing up consistently, decide in advance who gets a seat at your table. Who gets the full access. Who gets celebrated with you. Some of you are going to make it big in your own way. When that day comes, remember this story. Don't let the sudden attention fool you. Stay grounded in who is really there. Forgive for your sake. Set boundaries for your future. And keep building. The American dream isn't just money. It's freedom from needing approval to live fully. You deserve that freedom. Claim it. If this story hit you hard, do one thing for me right now. Smash that like button and drop one word in the comments that describes how your family makes you feel today. Just one word. I read every single one. If you're out there building something, whether it's a business, a better marriage, or a stronger version of yourself, Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're in this together, friend. You don't need their permission. You never did. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong out there.